tough to describe right now. It's a hell of a college football game. An epic Rose Bowl game. And being on this side of it is it's difficult to describe. The disappointment, the hurt that we feel, that those guys in that locker room feel right now. Some of them came in, telling me sorry and telling us sorry. And I said, don't tell us you're sorry. Our team put it on the line. They laid it on the line every snap. We weren't perfect. We did a lot of really good things on both sides of the ball, but we certainly weren't perfect. Had some opportunities. Let the game get back a little bit closer there in the third quarter, and at that point it became, it was going to come down to one play here or there, and it did. But it's been a great run. Senior class has been tremendous. I mean, to win 3 straight Big 12 championships, be in this college football playoff twice, and then just especially this year, there's a lot of reasons this team could have turned the wrong direction, from the coaching change, the Iowa State loss, just all the things that this team had to battle through. And I'm proud as hell to be their coach. It's been a great season, and I think we'll set the stage for even bigger things here in the next few years. So we'll go questions from there.
Thank you, Coach. We'll start here in the front.
Dean Blevins, News 9, Oklahoma City. Coach, if you could pick out one thing among a number of things that you'll never forget or that really haunt you, the squib kick at halftime, or them getting pressure on Baker, or something of the field goal, what really eats at you, maybe more than anything?
Oh, I don't know that there's one thing. Just that we had an opportunity to win the game. We had some, we'd separate ourselves a little bit there in the first half and weren't able to maintain it. Probably just overall as a team, kind of how we played there coming out of halftime. We just didn't put our best foot forward. But look, give Georgia credit. There's reason they're in this game too. They're a very, very talented team. But no, I won't never say one play in particular. There's no one play that lost this game for us or won it for Georgia. There was a ton of good plays on both sides of the ball, and they made one more than we did.
We're now also joined by players Baker Mayfield, Obo Okoronkwo, and Rodney Anderson. The next question will be in the middle.
James Hales, Sports Talk 1400, the Ref and OU Insider. Lincoln, the squib kick at halftime, you brought that up. Did the team just lose some momentum there? What happened in the third quarter? Because you dominated the first half.
Yeah, I mean, that probably, I don't know that we necessarily lost momentum. That probably gave them a little bit of juice. They were able to steal 3 points on us. It was a good call. And Austin's been great with those. He just didn't hit it well and ended up going right to their guy, which you can't, it's the one thing you can't do, and we did. And then, they did a good job of executing. It was kind of right there on the edge of, do they throw a Hail Mary or not? And we certainly didn't want to give up the Hail Mary, so we went into a defense against that. They made a nice throw on the out ball, and then the guy made a bomb. So, give them credit. Gave them a little bit of juice, and then, we just didn't play well, though, early in the second half. That was the stretch of the game that I was probably most disappointed in.
Good question up here on the left.
Lincoln, Dennis Dodd, CBS Sports. I think in overtime you threw into the end zone once with arguably the best player in the country. It got intercepted. You got a break on the offsides. Could you have been more aggressive as a play caller in the overtime?
We didn't get a break. We knew it was offside.
Yeah, no, I understand.
But sure. I'm sure I'll look back at it, and there will be calls that I wish I would have done different. I've never had a game, even the ones that have went incredibly well, where there wasn't some of that. So you do the very best you can in that moment. I called the plays at that time that I thought were the very best. And, will there be ones that I want to have back? Yeah, but again, you learn from those, but I'm not going to dwell on them. That's, you call enough plays, you're going to call some bad ones. And but we laid it all on the line, coaches and players.
A question up here in the front.
Yeah, this is for Baker. Baker, you spent a lot of time on the field after the game, talking to teammates, Georgia players, the fans. What was that like for you?
Obviously, I would have liked to have been on the other side of things, but it was, taking the last moments with teammates, and then also trying to find Jake Fromm. It's a true freshman that led his team to a playoff victory. You don't typically see that. He's an incredible player, and you can tell he commands his offense, and he has respect of his teammates. And from me, that's about the greatest character trait you could have. And just told him to go win the whole thing. Got a lot of respect for him and to keep working hard because for him, I think the sky's the limit.
We have a question on the far left.
Baker, just can you talk about how you felt tonight? I mean, didn't start out in the half, well in the third quarter, but then you have the 22-yard run and you got that drive going. Was there any fatigue that was abnormal for you going through what you went through this week?
No, it felt fine. Just, quite frankly, just missed throws. Didn't make the throws I normally made, and then that showed.
We have a question on the front.
Yeah, Barry Trammell from the Oklahoman. Baker and Lincoln, it looked like you had a lot of trouble protecting after halftime. What was the difference between the first half offensive, particularly passing game, and then the second half where you didn't have a lot of time to do much?
Yeah, I think early in the half we didn't run it as well. We got a little one-dimensional. I probably hung our guys out there a little bit too much, especially against a talented front. And look, they're going to get there sometimes. I mean, they're good up front. We are too. We move the ball, on them like nobody has even close all season. But they're good defense. I mean, eventually they were going to make some plays, and they did. And so I've got to protect our guys a little bit better. And but again, it was a great battle. Both sides made a lot of great plays.
Baker, did you have a response to that as well? Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, no, they blitzed a lot more on first and second down, and for us, for me, it's getting the ball out of my hands, finding the guys open. We had people open, and like Coach Riley said, they're also good up front. It's not like we were just pulling assignments. They got good players.
We have a question on the left.
This is for Banya. What was so tough about the Mr. Okoronkwo? I'm sorry. What was so tough about stopping Michelle and Grubb tonight? Was it anything that the offensive line for Georgia was doing? Was it something special? I mean, they're obviously very talented runners.
Yeah, I mean, they're talented backs, they're really good guys. We knew that going in. They're going to make plays, there's only so much you can do. Those guys, they play Division I football too.
Baker, Nikki K,
Question in the
Campbell,
back, guys.
not here. You talked about how you're feeling physically during the game, but can you talk to us about your emotions as you're taking that final lap around the field and kind of what you're feeling right now?
Can't believe it's over. It's been a wild ride.
We have a question in the middle.
Coach George Stoya, OU Daily. How close were you to going for it on that 4th and 1 in the first overtime, and why didn't you?
I was close. I went back and forth on it a little bit. I had a lot of confidence in Austin, like I have here the second half of the season. And then we had just held them to a field goal, I think, defensively, so I felt good about the second run at it. And I don't know, my gut said to kick it, and we did, we made it.
Question up in the front.
Dean Blevins again. Coach, was part of the thinking that just gets you a first down. That doesn't guarantee
Sure.
touchdown.
Sure. Yeah, if it had been on that same thing and it had been on the 1-yard line, I probably would have went for it. But yeah, I just didn't think their just risk was worth the reward. And plus, that's kind of their most talented point right there, is kind of stopping short yardage runs. They're pretty good at it. And again, our kicker's good, so that's why I did it.
We have a question on the left.
Baker, you've obviously been a great leader for this program the last few years. In the coming days, what do you think you'll say to the young guys who are coming back, and how do you feel about the future of this program?
They're in great hands. You got the best coach in the country, and I think they have the best coaching staff as well. We've had a lot of young guys that have impacted our team this year, and them coming here and having experience, knowing what it takes, and then also having this sick taste in your mouth of getting this close but not finishing. That's going to motivate them. They're going to be just fine. Yeah, I'd love to have it back, but they're going to be just fine. And I guarantee they finish it out the right way in the next couple of years.
We have a question on the front.
Yeah, for Lincoln, John Hoover, the Sporting News, and the franchise. When you have a big lead and there's a lot to lose in a championship game like this, a championship setting, do you have to battle the desire to coach to not lose? In other words, you have to battle against conservative play calling or prevent defense or going for it on or not going for it on fourth down versus field goal, that kind of thing?
No, I've never felt that at all. I just think you try in each individual situation to do the best thing for your team to win that game. We were still plenty aggressive at times when we thought it was appropriate. We've been able to win a lot of games around here, and again, are there ones I wish that I could have back? Sure. I've never had a game where there wasn't, but there was never a time where we were thinking conservative. We were always thinking, how are we going to win this thing? And felt like we would until the last snap.
We have time for 2 more questions.
Yeah, Baker, they had that big run there in the third quarter, and it looked like they might run away with it. You guys went, I think, 90 yards or so, really in 3 plays. What was going through your mind during that sequence? What happened there? And then after you get the scoop and score, you're probably feeling pretty good at that point.
Yeah, no, we talked about it. We just needed to do our job, and that was going to be good enough. We had let them back in the game and made a costly error on the interception in our own territory, and they scored. So, excuse me. And so we needed to respond, and we did just that. And the defense made a great play, and so then that lit a fire on our sideline, had the energy back, and we were back in the game.
We have one last question in the back.
For Baker and Lincoln, you guys have had so much success over the last few years leading this program together. What will you guys cherish most about being able to lead this program?
Being with the best coach in the country. There's a reason I'm sitting here today, and there's a reason that we've won 3 Big 12 titles in a row, and that I put myself in a good position going forward in the future. And there's a reason our team's in the playoffs this year. It's words can't describe what he's meant to me, and for the other guys, I hope it's the same.
Yeah, it's a little difficult to summarize right now. It's been a great run. It's been a historic run. He's been a big part of it, as have all these players. I just told them I appreciate how much they bought in and had my back all year. And I made plenty of mistakes, and they kind of helped our team overcome them the entire year. So I love him, love the rest of these guys. It's been a hell of a run, one we'll be proud of for a long, long time, and one that, again, that's going to continue to elevate this program to where we finish the deal here in the next few years.
Thank you, Coach, and thank you, players.